Okay. Swat. Okay. Ma'am, shall we start the program, ma'am? Swati, ma'am?
Sure, sure, we can.
Okay, okay. So once again,
I'm
welcome, Swati,
unable to
ma'am.
start my video. It is saying another application is using your camera. Just a second.
Okay. Ma'am, your PPT is visual,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I can go without camera?
No problem, ma'am.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
So
So,
good morning,
welcome,
everybody.
ma'am. Welcome on behalf of our university and NAHE project. I welcome again to Swati, ma'am, and our participants. And now, without wasting the time, we are starting and listening to Swati, ma'am. So, I welcome, ma'am, for the lecture. Please share your experience with the participants, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Swatantra. Good morning, everybody. So कल हमने audit planning के बारे में पढ़ा and we went through the general audit requirements. जितनी भी types की audit होती हैं, we went through them. So today's session will emphasize on internal audits because this is an implementation program. So till now, in the previous lectures, आपने implementation देखा, how to implement FSMS in an organization. Now, how to internal audit, self audit your own implemented program, FSMS program. This we will go through today's presentation. So it's again based on ISO 19011 requirements, that is guidelines for auditing management systems. First, we will go through performing an audit, how to perform an audit once it is planned. Why an internal audit is important. एक बार आपने अपना FSMS system implement किया है, so before going for final certification, आपको अपने पूरे system का एक complete self check करना है that whatever procedures आपने implement किए हैं, including risk management procedures like HACCP, आपकी food safety policies and audit criterias, ये सारे procedures properly आपके system में implemented हैं and they are working effectively. What does that mean? That means कि आपने अगर कोई procedure set किया है तो it is reflecting in your working procedures and records. So to verify the same thing, you are doing internal audit. It is a kind of self check before going for final certification audits. How to perform an audit. This section contains guidance on preparing and conducting audit activities as part of an audit program. Following figure provides an overview of typical audit activities. So this part is consists of what audit activities are to be taken, how to prepare it, and how to conduct it. First is initiating the audit. These are the only steps. We will discuss them in brief in the next slides. The first is initiating the audit, preparing audit activities, conducting the audit activities, preparing and distributing the audit report, completing the audit, conducting audit follow-up. How to initiate an audit? Discussing audit requirements with the audited departments. Now, when we are talking about initial audit, internal audit, हमने कल देखा था internal audit is an interdepartmental audit, और आप किसी एक्सटर्नल पर्सन को हायर करते हैं इन केस ऑफ स्मॉल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो कि किसी भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट से फ्री है एंड दैट पर्सन कैन वेरीफाई योर कंप्लीट सिस्टम. तो इन दैट केस जितने भी ऑडिटेड डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं उनको ऑडिट की रिक्वायरमेंट्स डिस्कस करना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सो दैट दे नो हाउ द ऑडिट विल बी taking place. So discussing audit requirements with the audited departments in order to discussing and confirming audit plan, internal audit plan जो भी आपका बना है उसे discuss करने के लिए. Request access to relevant documents and records for planning purpose. उस department से related जो भी documents and records हैं, that person can provide to the auditor so that कि वो उसके according plan कर पाए कि कौन से department को के कौन से part को कितना time देना है. Determine applicable legal and contractual requirement relevant to the activities and products of the auditee department. सो जो भी लीगल या कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल रिक्वायरमेंट होती है किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट से रिलेटेड, उसके बारे में उन्हें नॉलेज हो जाए. दैट्स व्हाई दिस मीटिंग इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट. सो लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट्स हो सकती हैं, लाइक FSSAI इज अ लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट. अगर उन्होंने कोई लीगल सर्टिफिकेशन लिया है तो दैट विल बी अ लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट. कोई स्टैट्यूटरी रिक्वायरमेंट अगर है, दैट विल कम अंडर अ लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट. कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल रिक्वायरमेंट्स विल बी the requirements by your supplier or your customer or any other contracts if you have. So all those should be known to the auditors in advance. Make arrangements for the audit, including scheduling the dates and times as per availability of department personnel. ताकि वो लोग audit का schedule and arrangement कर पाए dates and times के according कि कौन से department में वो person जो audit होने वाला है person available है या नहीं है. Accordingly they can plan कि which department shall be audited when.
Excuse me, Swati.
Yes. Yes, please.
Food business. What could be the examples of legal activities or which are not requiring any legal, which don't have any legal requirements? Can you give some examples in case of a food business
I
registered
didn't
or
got your
licensed
question.
with FSSAI?
What activities which do not have any legal requirements?
Under third bullet, initiating the audit, there is determine applicable legal
Yes.
requirements relevant to the activities and products of the auditee.
Yes.
So my question is, if a food business is licensed and registered with FSSAI,
Yes.
so all the requirements as per FSSAI regulations will be falling under legal? And if so, then what are the non-legal activities? Any examples for that?
देखिए, FSSAI is a legal requirement, of course, and non-legal activities when you're talking about, जैसे कि कोई भी ISO certification होता है, it's not a legal requirement, it's a voluntary requirement. So when you go for an ISO certification, it's your voluntary requirements or any other certifications जो कि आप अपने management के लिए improvement के लिए कर रहे हैं, that is a voluntary requirement. But like, or if we
Okay.
talk about organic is again a legal requirement, because अगर आप organic word use करते हैं तो you have to go through all the legal requirements as per set by the
Okay.
local authority. Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. So shall I proceed to next slide?
Go ahead.
Okay. So preparing audit activities, performing document review in preparation for the audit. So document review, as we went yesterday through the document review कैसे करना है, तो वो document review prepare करना होता है beforehand while preparing audit activities. Preparing the audit plan prepare करना है. Assigning work to the audit team. आपने जो भी audit team select की है, per person को आपको work assign करना है while preparing audit activities and preparing work documents, which will include audit plan, audit schedule, audit reports, and any audit finding reports like NC reports and corrective action reports. We will discuss it today. So these documents we have to prepare beforehand so that they can give it to the audit team to use it while audit. Now, next, in preparing audit activities, performing document review in preparation for the audit. So what else we require while internal audit to perform document review? The relevant management system documentation of the auditee should be reviewed. यहाँ relevant management system हमारा है ISO 22000. So ISO 22000 documentation of the auditee should be reviewed in order to gather information to prepare audit activities and applicable work documents. Get an overview of the system documentation. So this is a very important part कि आपने जो भी procedures, policies, manuals set किए हैं उसको you will review against the ISO 22000 requirements that they are complete. And it is also important to gather information to prepare audit activities, because whatever procedures you have set उसी के according आपके सारे systems work कर रहे हैं. तो you will prepare accordingly कि जो आपके procedures बोल रहे हैं आप accordingly ही work कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं. So this is how you will prepare your audit. Get an overview of the system documentation. The documentation here should include management system documents and records, like organizational manual, procedure manuals, policies, etc. as well as previous audit reports, if any. अगर कोई भी previous audit report है, that audit report may include previous internal audit record, any external audit record, third party audit record, any legal inspections, जो भी है उन सबकी findings भी इसमें review करनी है, so that you can plan accordingly कि पहले क्या findings आई थी, उसके against में आपको क्या check करना है. Now, preparing the audit plan of internal audit. The audit plan should cover or reference the following: audit objectives, audit scope. ये सब हम लोग कल देख चुके हैं, so I will not explain it further, but still if you need any explanation, please let me know. The audit objectives, audit scope, audit criteria, and any reference documents. The locations, dates, expected time and duration of audit activities to be conducted. The audit methods to be used. As we went through yesterday, on-site, आपको वहीं जाकर करना है, off-site, like that. The roles and responsibilities of the audit team members, as well as guides and observers, if any. The audit plan need to be reviewed and accepted by the audit client, or here we can say auditee department. So I think
What is
it's
this
clear.
reference documents? Any example of reference document?
Yes, here the reference document will be ISO 22000 manual, because the auditor must have that manual while auditing the.
Standard, ISO 22000 standard?
Yes, ISO 22000 standard will be the reference document here.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is an internal audit plan template of कल हमने जो देखा था, it was a general audit plan. Now this is internal audit plan. In an internal audit plan, what things will be there? Organization name, जिस भी organization का audit हो रहा है. Auditee name, यहाँ पर again organization का नाम आएगा. Date of the planning, objectives and criteria like FSMS internal audit 1. Scope, procurement, receipt, grinding and cleaning of dry spices in this case. Now, how the information will be given of internal audit to the entire departments. Dear all, first internal audit of year 2021 of our organization is scheduled to be conducted on 21st April 2021. Audit schedule is as follows. So this is the template. तो यहाँ पर timings आएंगे, time. Each time, who is the auditee? For example, मैंने यहाँ पर एक auditee लिखा है, top management, auditor, procurement head, clause number 5, commitment and food safety policy. This is the clause number of ISO 22000. So this is how the audit will be planned against each department. Auditees में जो department audit होना है, auditor जो person उसको audit करेगा. यहाँ पर particular names आते हैं. I have just mentioned the headings of the departments or the post of the department heads. But यहाँ particular जब हम practically इसको implement करेंगे तो यहाँ पर names आएंगे, तो who are the auditees and who are the auditors. इसी तरह से सारे departments की details यहाँ आएगी. So this is how an internal audit plan is made. All related personnels are requested to be present at their scheduled audit timing. Yours faithfully, audit program manager का यहाँ detail आ जाएगा. So this is the internal audit plan template. Preparing audit activities. Assigning work to the audit team. So next, what next? Responsibilities shall be allocated to audit team members to audit particular processes, activities or locations, which we have done already here. हर एक team member को responsibility उसकी assign करी है. Now, next come preparing work documents. We have planned the audit. We have assigned the duties. Next is to prepare work documents. What work documents auditors will be having while auditing. The audit team members should prepare work documents for reference and for recording audit evidence. So as I said, audit team members को audit reports and NCR reports पहले से ही prepare करके अपने पास रखने so that they can use it while audit. Audit work documents may include audit checklist, of course. Audit checklist जो भी on-site audit checklist होती है उनके पास होनी चाहिए. Forms for recording information such as supporting evidence, audit findings and records of meetings. So these forms includes, it could be included in audit report, checklist, or separate finding forms like NC forms, non-conformity forms. Those documents shall be kept confidential within the organization. Again, ये सभी documents within the organization confidential रहने चाहिए. कोई भी audit या auditor इनको बाहर जाकर open नहीं कर सकता है, discuss नहीं कर सकता है. Now, once we have prepared the work documents, we are ready for audit and we are initiating the audit. On the day of audit, what we will be doing first? What an auditor will be doing first? They will conduct the opening meeting. Now, the purpose of the opening meeting is to confirm the agreement of all parties, example, auditee, audit team to the audit plan, and to introduce the audit team and audit plan. This means while opening meeting, jitni bhi parties like auditor, audit departments, or any other relevant party like top management and all, उन सबको एग्री करना है उस प्लान पे, ऑडिट प्लान पे जो हमने प्रिपेयर किया है, that they are available on those times and they will be able to go through the audit process at the particular timings as per audit plan. If not, they can tell them at the point of opening meeting so that ki applicable arrangements जो भी होते हैं वो किए जा सकें. Introduce the audit team and audit plan. Once opening meeting is done, next could be performing document review while conducting the audit. This is one of the activity which required while audit. It's not necessary that this should be the first point, but yes, this is one of the activity that requires while audit. The organization's relevant documentation should be reviewed to determine the conformity of the system as far as documented with audit criteria. So once आपने पहले तो उनका आइडिया ले चुके हो, आप एक go through हो चुके हो through the manual, procedures and policy. Now what you are doing? What you are doing is you are verifying those documents to the actual implementation. तो आप देख रहे हैं कि जो भी ऑडिट क्राइटेरिया के अगेंस्ट ये डॉक्यूमेंटेशन डेवलप हुए हैं, आर दे कंफर्मिंग टू द एक्चुअल प्रैक्टिसेस. Gather information to support the audit activities. This is same case. Through documentation you will gather information to support the audit activities. If adequate documentation cannot be provided within the time frame given in the audit plan, the audit team leader, depending on the audit objectives and scope, will decide whether the audit should be continued or suspended till documentation concerns are resolved. So this even applicable to internal audits. कि अगर while audit आपको लगता है कि the documentation which are provided are or which are not provided within the time frame, आप पहले भी नहीं उनको verify कर पाए, and while audit also they are saying that there are still some changes to be made, so we cannot provide you, or any other excuse if they made, that means they are not prepared for audit. So in that case, the audit shall be suspended. It should not be continued if the documentations are not there to be audited within the given time frame. First documentation shall be ready, then only the audit can be continued. Collecting and verifying information, other important part of audit. How to collect and verify information, and what information shall be collected and verified while audit. Only information that is verifiable should be accepted as audit evidence. जिस information को आप verify कर सकते हैं वही accept होनी चाहिए audit evidence. If you cannot verify it, if it is a statement which you cannot verify, और अगर आपको लगता है वो information अधूरी है, verify नहीं हो पा रही, तो it will not be an audit evidence. Audit evidence leading to
Example
audit
for
findings.
this? Any example for this?
Yes, I will go
Any
through the
example for-
examples. Yes, I will go through the examples while discussing NC, or I can give you an idea here. As yesterday we discussed, कि जब आप audit evidence लिखते हैं, how do you write it? While writing an NC, we discussed how to write it. Like we discussed about the cleaning section for the outside of the office area. So the audit evidence there was कि outside of the office area you saw cobweb. अगर आपने लिखा होता कि the outside area of outside office area was not clean, there was nothing verifiable in that. Was not clean. What does that mean? It was dirty. What was not
Okay,
clean?
verification through observations.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever you are writing as an object audit evidence, it
Okay.
should be
Okay.
verifiable. Okay.
Okay.
Observation is also considered as a verifiable aspect if it is completely mentioned. Okay. Audit evidence leading to audit findings should be recorded. So कोई भी audit finding जब आप लिखते हैं उसके अगेंस्ट में audit evidence क्या था वो आपको रिकॉर्ड करना है, मेंशन करना है. Method of collecting information include the following: interviews, observations, review of documents, including records. So you can collect information from all these things. You can interview the persons available while audit through your own observations or through review of documents or records. Generating audit findings. When determining audit findings, the following should be considered. Audit evidence should be evaluated against the audit criteria in order to determine audit findings. Whatever audit evidence you are collecting and audit findings you are making must be against the audit criteria. आप ISO 22000 की audit करने जा रहे हैं तो it must be against ISO 22000 audit criteria. ये नहीं कि आप उसके अंदर जाकर के आप किसी और certification की system की finding को बोल रहे हैं कि ये भी होना चाहिए था. You cannot do that. You can do that only against the criteria, audit criteria, which is set for your audit. Audit findings can indicate conformity or non-conformity with audit criteria. So audit findings are not only non-conformity, they are also conformity. So conformity or non-conformity with audit criteria is an audit finding. You can write down if a system is very brilliant as per ISO 22000, you can make it as a finding that the system was found very brilliant as the persons were very knowledgeable and were well trained. So it could be an audit observation and audit finding of yours, audit 2. Follow up of previous audit records and conclusion. So while generating audit findings, you have to mention अगर पहले के audit records से कोई findings थी तो how it is closed, how they are doing it, it should be coming into your audit findings, and any related conclusions shall be there कि पुरानी findings are being met or not, are they have been able to cope up through it or not. Then next come the opportunities for improvement. If you feel like everything is all right, you have mentioned the NCs, whatever the NCs were, whatever the conformity were, but if you see that there is opportunity for improvement, they can still improve their system. You should be saying this. An audit should take out points for opportunity for improvement so that the system can improve continuously. Then comes categorization, if any of the audit findings. Once you have found out the audits, तो उसका categorization करना भी जरूरी है. Like which was conformity, which was non-conformity, which was opportunity for improvement, which was minor conformity, and which was major conformity. Now we have gone through what are the audit findings. We will go through what are the kind of NCs we can raise while audit. The non-conformities are a kind of audit findings that may be classified as follows. From non-conformity, we understand that it is anything that is not conforming to the standard is non-conformity. So these can be of two kinds, minor or major. When we talk about internal audit, it could be minor or major. Minor non-conformance is a failure to follow a system or process that would not lead to a food safety breach. That means कोई भी ऐसी non-conformance जिसकी वजह से आपका food safety effect नहीं हो रहा है will come under minor non-conformance, and it should be closed in a given time frame. जो भी time frame आप decide करते हैं audit and auditee, that given time frame में it should be closed. Major non-conformance, it is a failure of a system or process that could lead to a breach of food safety. ये एक failure of system है जिसकी वजह से अगर food safety effect हो सकती है. If this happens, तो food safety will be affected. It has not happened yet, but if it will happen, food safety will be breached. So it should be corrected on the spot or at earliest, and require a system change to prevent further issue. Example could be आपने CCPs डेवलप किए, आपने कंट्रोल्स लगाए, लेकिन आपने उसको जहां भी आपका सिस्टम था आपने लोगों को इन्फॉर्म नहीं किया, ट्रेनिंग नहीं दिए. It could affect directly to the food safety breach. So it could be a major thing because CCPs is a major part, and if you have not informed it to the people involved, it is a major thing. But it has not happened yet, so you will give it a major NC and you will correct it on the time. You will give the trainings and all. So this is a major NC. Minor NC could be कि आपने floor persons को training नहीं दी FSMS की. So it was a minor NC because general FSMS की आपने floor persons को नहीं training दी है. You will give them a general training, induction training, a 2 hours training, a 3 hours training, whatever, so that they know that their system is as per ISO 22000 and what minimum requirements that they have to follow. It is up to organization what kind of training is required to what kind of floor person. So this is how we generate non-conformities. Next come root cause. As we went through yesterday, root cause shall be identified, that why a non-conformity has happened. It should be identified. And corrective actions to be proposed by auditee. Once root cause is identified, जो भी auditee है उसको corrective action propose करना है कि what corrective action that person will be taking. Corrective action shall be mutually agreed. Yes, an auditor can withdraw samples, of course. So a root cause shall be identified and corrective actions to be proposed by auditee. Corrective action shall be mutually agreed by both auditee and auditor. Corrective action reports shall be reviewed to verify effectiveness of corrective action. Is that okay? So who will review the corrective action report? The auditor will review the corrective action report to verify कि जो भी corrective actions propose किए हैं, they are effective to close the NC, and once they are being completed, they are being completed in the right way. So this shall be reviewed by the auditor.
Here critical is not mentioned.
Yeah, and because in when we talk about internal audit, yesterday I was talking about a common audit procedure. When we talk about internal audit, so it's up to the organization. These are the general findings which we create while internal audit. But again, the organization develops their procedures because it is not guided anywhere at what kind of NC they have to mention. So it's up to the organization what kind of NCs they have mentioned.
Type of NC they can decide, any organization.
Yes, of course. They can even mention a mild non-conformance, minor non-conformance, and major non-conformance. It is up to them. And critical is generally not there in internal audits. Generally, it's not there because anything they can find out, they are doing it before the certification, and then but if it is for continual certification, it could be critical. Yes, please, what you are saying?
Okay, ma'am. For external point of view, it can be, it can added in critical.
Of course,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so there is a question, can auditor withdraw samples if sample is not as per standard, which NC may be raised? So I think यहाँ आप food sample की बात कर रहे हैं, right? I have a question in chat box from Mr. Wasim Sheikh. So sir, can you listen to me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Okay, so there is a question, if sample is not as per standard, which NC may be raised? So again, as per standard जब हम बात करते हैं, it is a vast thing. तो standard के अंदर एक normal चीज भी आ सकता है, like standard is कि उनकी quality parameters, color, and also in that case it is a minor NC. If it is a microorganism thing or chemical related thing, it will go under the major thing. It is breaching the food safety. Whatever is breaching the food safety, it is a major thing. Okay. I think it's okay. So next is a little brain warming to all of us. I'm giving a couple of examples of NC, and you have to tell me in the chat box that which one is minor, major, or critical. Critical I'm not mentioning here. Please forget it. So which one is minor, major, or even if it is an NC or not? So situation 1, in a spice processing industry whose scope for FSMS certification was repacking of organic spices, organic certification was found expired. As per auditee, organic inspection was carried out already by their organic certification body and certificate was in process. Organic inspection report was presented as an evidence and there were no major issue raised in it. So what kind of NC it could be? If you want me to repeat it or to explain it, please let me know.
Minor.
Minor, okay. Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am, minor only. Hello?
Okay, okay.
Minor.
No, because there is no security breach in this.
So if we talk about this, this is not an NC because they have presented the inspection report and they have shown that their organics inspection is already done and there are no issues raised in it. So that means their certification is still continued and they will get the certificate in time. If the inspection was not done, if there was no inspection report, and or if there was any major issue raised, it would be an NC in that case, major or minor. Okay. Yeah, so this is a a difficult kind of situation I have shown to you. In case agar auditor आपको present कर
I have
सकता
not
है कि वो
given,
already,
excuse
yeah,
me,
yes,
the
yes,
date
please.
of the inspection for renewal. Has it to be
Yes,
done before the expiry of the existing
yes,
certification?
right, correct. Very
So
nice
that you have not
observation.
mentioned that
Yeah,
the certificate inspection has been done before the expiry of the original organic certificate, right?
exactly. A very nice
And
observation, and I'm going to include it in my next presentation. Thank you so much for this observation. No one has raised this
okay.
observation before, so thank you so
And
much.
another
Yeah.
thing, after inspection, how
Hmm.
much time it takes for the certificate to be provided? So if the inspection is done, there is no major issue, but it takes 3 months or 4 months and the
Yes,
organization is
sometimes
not
it takes around 3 months. The
certificate.
maximum limit is 3 months, but if there is no major issue, if everything is done, then it takes only a couple of weeks max. If there is no issue
What
and
is
no
the
additional
problem? Why
requirements.
couple of weeks? Why can't be done in 2-3 days when everything is okay?
You know, I'm telling you the maximum time frame. It depends on the certification
Okay.
body again. It can be done in
Okay.
2-3 days if the certification body personnel are, because once inspection is
Efficient.
done, the report has to be reviewed. When the report is
Okay.
reviewed, the outcomes are to be verified and then the certificate is released. So the process takes time.
So if I am having a certification and say it is going to expire on the 30th of September of 2021, what is the
Yes.
right time to start for the next certification so that it is organized? How
You know,
much
in
time
that
frame
case,
is there?
I would like to limit
So
this
shall
discussion,
we?
but I would like to answer you that in case of this, you have to go through the inspection before the audit, before the expiry of the certificate, and your certificate will have the date of inspection on it as the certification starting
So
date.
my only thing was that if an industry professional,
Hmm?
if they want to get it for renewal, generally what is the
Yes.
timeline? Like 4 months before expiry, they start taking action. They start arranging for
Yes,
it.
they do. Around it again
4
depends on
months,
the
6 months.
procedures of certification body, but normally it is before 3 months they get a notification from the certification body that their
Okay. Okay.
inspection
Yeah.
is due
Right.
and they have to plan for it.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Right. Thank you.
So next example is in an RTE ready to eat rice and curry plant, which is a plant which is making ready to eat rice and ready to eat curries. Storage area of raw material was not identified. So what kind of NC could be that?
Major.
I would read it again. Storage area of raw material was not identified.
Storage area. Minor.
Yes, storage area. Yes, it will be a minor NC because the storage area was not identified. If the raw material itself were not identified, it would have been a major NC. So in this case, correction and corrective actions are required. So this was all about audits. Now the next is NC report writing and corrective action report template for scope. So here I am giving you a template in which we have mentioned some NC shown you how to report the NC and how to take corrective actions. And the scope for this is procurement, receipt, storage, and processing of jams, marmalades, tomato ketchup, vegetable sauces, and vinegar. The same scope for which we discussed the audit plan yesterday. So there is an NC report writing and corrective action report against this scope. So this is only an example. So first we will mention the name of company, XYZ company. Then we will mention what is it, FSMS audit non-conformance report. We have mentioned here the format number and revision number. This is the type of document control which is done by the organization itself. From this point, we will coming to how to write an NC. So first we will mention which NC is this. If there are multiple NC, here should be the NC number, NC1, NC2, NC3, whatever. Then date of the NC, when the NC was raised. Audit department, against which department the NC is raised. Like here, the audit department is control of monitoring and measuring devices. The person who is taking control of these, the name of the person should be here. I have not mentioned it because it is just a template. The name of the person who is auditee for the department will also come over here. Audit reference, ISO 22000. Sorry, it's an old reference. It's ISO 22000. Auditor, the name of auditor will come here. Major or minor, whichever it is, you have to select the one. Standard and clause. So ISO 22000 we have already mentioned. So the clause will be whatever the clause number is. Here it is 8.7 of ISO 22000. And auditee representative. Again, the name should be here. Sorry. Now, this is the general thing we are mentioning about the audit. Reference, standard, clause, and the auditee and auditor details. Then comes non-conformance with objective evidence. How we will write the non-conformance? Here, the non-conformance is calibration status. That is date of calibration for thermometers used while blanching of tomato was not mentioned in calibration records. उन्होंने calibration records के अंदर calibration status of thermometers नहीं डाला हुआ था. So it's clearly stating that they were calibrated, but it was not reflected in the records. This is the NC here. So it is clearly reflected from this sentence.
How is it verifiable that the thermometers were calibrated if there was no record?
No, you can go through this again. Calibration status for thermometer used while blanching of tomato was not mentioned in calibration records. So this sentence itself is saying that it was calibrated, but calibration status was not mentioned in records. It's not saying that calibration records were not there. It's not mentioned that calibration certificates was not there. It's mentioning only the status was not mentioned in calibration records. Okay. So here to make it more effective, आप calibration record का यहाँ पर record number डाल सकते हैं. This was the record number. और effective बनाने के लिए जो आपने point बोला, of course you can make it more effective by adding the date. The thermometers were calibrated on this date, but this was not reflected in the records.
Not
you can make it more
in calibration records. Yes, that will be
yes,
more.
Exactly. You can mention
accurate,
as much as details as you can fetch from the.
No, as such,
records.
this is ambiguous sometimes because whether that calibration has been done or not, whether that has been verified. Yes, calibration was done on this date by this company, but not recorded in the calibration record.
Exactly. That is the more effective way to
Okay, go
note
ahead.
it. Okay. Yeah. So what is the root cause of non-conformity? So the auditor discussed with the audit department why it was not done, why it happens. So the person told, auditor told them that QA officer who was responsible to maintain calibration record was a new appointee, and thus didn't knew these to be recorded. He knew how to document them, how to collect them, but he didn't knew how to it to be recorded. Also, this was not mentioned as a training requirement in training schedule. So here, what is the root cause? The QA officer was not trained, or it was not in the training schedule. So the root cause is their training schedule had a breach. उनका training schedule में ही mention नहीं था. That is why QA officer didn't got this training that how to record it. So corrective action will be taken against the root cause here. So how will corrective action report will be made? It's next. The proposed correction and corrective action shall be, QA officer will be trained for maintaining calibration records. This is the correction that they can do promptly. And next, training schedule will be updated to add trainings to maintain calibration records for all related staff. So this is how they will propose a correction and corrective action. This will be verified by auditor. Is this effective or not? Then here, action taken. This will be done once the action is taken. They will mention here what action is taken now. The completion date will be coming here, but the proposed completion date will be here. Like they have proposed this action and they have proposed this date to complete. And when the action was taken, what was the completion date? Actual completion date against the proposed completion date will become here. Representative can sign that he is agreeing for this corrective action thing, and clearance report to be completed by auditor. So these two things will be completed later. This will be completed at the time of audit when the NCR is raised. These two things, proposed completion date and signature. And these 1, 2, and 3 columns will be later when clearance report will be given by auditor. So if auditor will revise once the actions are taken, that is it accepted, his signature and date will be here. If there are any effectiveness comments he want to make, they will come here. For example, if you want to mention that this to be verified in the next internal audit, he will mention it here. So this is how an NCA and corrective action reports are made. Is that okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So now we have now we know how to write an NC, how to make a corrective action report, Next, we will jump to preparing audit conclusions. Once we have all the audit findings to us, whether it could be conformity, non-conformity, it could be corrective, corrections, opportunity for improvements, any corrections required. So once all those findings we have, we will jump to the audit conclusions. Audit conclusions can address issues such as the following. What issues can an audit conclusion address? Conformity with the audit criteria of the management system. So you will make a statement in your report that the management system was conforming to the audit criteria or not. Achievement of audit objectives and fulfillment of audit criteria. ये जब हमने audit programming के वक्त जो objectives set किए थे, हमारा जो audit criteria है, they are being achieved and fulfilled or not. This must come under the audit conclusion. Then root cause of findings. It shall also be there in audit conclusion that कौन सी finding क्यों happen हुई है. Okay. I will sip a little bit of water and then I will continue to the next slide. Just give me a break of a few seconds. Thank you. Once we have prepared our audit conclusions, we will go for the closing meeting. So we started the audit with the opening meeting in which we discussed what we will be doing in the audit. After all the activities are taken place, we will go for the closing meeting. A closing meeting should be held to present the audit findings and conclusions. Now, why closing meeting is held? It is held to present आपकी जो भी audit findings हैं, जो भी audit conclusion है, present them to the audited department. So closing meeting is to be conducted. While conducting closing meeting, there must be all auditors, all auditees and top management if required, and if mentioned in their procedures, top management shall also be there. So all these people should be presented while closing meeting, and the discussion on audit findings and conclusion shall be done in the closing meeting. Participants in the closing meeting should include those responsible for the functions or processes which have been audited. So again, all the auditees should be there. The following should be explained in the closing meeting. Presentation of the audit findings and conclusion in such a manner that they are understood. Any related post-audit activities, example, implementation of corrective actions. So audit findings and conclusion should be presented in a manner कि वो सबको समझ आए. You just not have to read them, you have to explain them, why these findings have occurred and what are the conclusions from them, and what post activities are required for each and every audit findings or conclusion. So this must be discussed in the closing meeting. Distributing the audit report. The audit report should be issued within an agreed period of time. Whatever time is mentioned in your procedures, or if you have agreed any time with the audited departments, audit report should be issued within that agreed time period. The audit report should be dated, of course. Audit report pe dates honi chahiye. The date on which the audit was done and the audit reports were made. Audit report should be reviewed. Audit report review hogi after the audit is done. A person will be review the audit report that it is complete or not, and approved, and it must be approved. The auditor himself must also review and approve the audit report. His signature must be on the audit report over there. The audit report, when dated, reviewed, approved and completed, should be distributed to the recipients as defined in the audit procedures. जो भी उस organization ने अपने audit procedure में define किया है कि किस किस के पास वो audit report जानी चाहिए. It might be top management, department heads or auditees, whatever they have defined, उन सभी को वो audit report distribute होनी चाहिए as per the procedure. Now here the distribution of the report is being done. Next is completing the audit. The audit is completed when all planned audit activities have been carried out. जितनी भी activities plan हुई हैं, once they are being done, then the audit is completed. That means any planned activity should not be missed. Unless required by law, the audit team and person managing the audit program should not disclose the content of documents and any other information obtained during the audit or the audit report to any outer party without the explicit approval of the top management. This is the same thing, the confidentiality that we discussed earlier. So any documents related to this shall not be disclosed to the outer parties. So once audit is completed, it doesn't mean that the work is completed here. We have to conduct the audit follow-ups. So what are the audit follow-ups? The conclusions of the audit can indicate the need for corrections or for corrective or improvement actions. Whatever conclusions through audit findings we have made in our audit reports indicates or requires some corrections or corrective or improvement actions. Such actions are usually decided and undertaken by the audited department within an agreed time frame, as we discussed कि agreed time frame में हमें उसे complete करना है, and it is being discussed between the audit and auditee. So the completion and effectiveness of these actions should be verified. This is what we have to follow up for the audit. Whatever corrective actions we have taken in the time frame we have decided for them are completed, and effectiveness of these actions, that are those actions effective for the future, these should be verified. Audit findings need to be discussed in the management review meetings. So it is also defined in the standard that internal audit and management reviews must be conducted. It is defined in the ISO 22000 standard. And why management review meetings are important, we will be discussing in the next slides. So whatever the audit findings are there, they have to be discussed in the management review meetings. So this part was all about audits. Next, we will be going to management review meetings, and after that, we will be discussing the competence of auditor. So till now, if you have anybody have any questions regarding the audits, please let me know.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello. Ma'am, in this third line, who verifies this? Audit department verifies these actions.
No, the auditor verifies. और अगर organization ने अपने procedures में लिखा है कि mention किया already कि who will be verifying them, or the तो वो person or else auditor.
Auditor will verify these actions.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So when was this made mandatory, this food safety internal audit made mandatory by FSSAI in India?
No, I'm not saying FSSAI. It's mandatory as per the ISO
No.
22000.
No, I am, maybe my question is different. So is
Okay.
it mandatory? Only the certification is not mandatory as yet in India,
Yes.
but is the food safety internal auditing mandatory as per FSSAI regulations? And if so, when was it done? Do you have any idea?
Sir,
Because
I would
I'm
like
not
to
in
answer it, but
touch.
actually I have not been in the system of FSSAI in India. I have moved here and I don't know the latest requirements. So I
Okay,
think it could
okay.
be better answered by the people present there from Food Safety Authority. They can answer it better. Even it will be knowledgeable for me.
Okay, I will check with them because I am also not in the system for the last 3 years. So many amendments have come up.
Okay, I don't
Okay,
think
okay,
internal
thank
audit
you.
is a requirement from FSSAI as well. You know, I know the system before 1 year. It was not mandatory to internal audit.
Yeah,
by FSSAI.
slowly they are moving towards that. No, slowly they are making
Yes.
things, improving
Yes,
things.
actually, if
So
it has been
amendments
made
are coming
within
up.
last 1 year, then I'm not sure.
Okay,
From before
okay,
last
okay.
1 year, it was not there.
It was not there whether a company conducts internal audit or not. It is up to the company, no?
Yes, exactly. But they
Okay,
have to
okay.
follow the requirements, legal requirements, whatever are mentioned by the FSSAI.
There is
Okay.
Rahul. Rahul could be knowing that. Rahul Walia,
Okay.
is he listening? It's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
No, no, sir, it's not mandatory.
Okay, it's still not mandatory, sir. Thank you for the information for me also. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, ma'am.
आपकी आवाज audible नहीं, it's breaking a lot.
Hello.
Hello, yes. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, can you go to the slide number 24?
24, yes. Yes, please. This one?
Thank you.
आपकी
Yes,
आवाज
ma'am.
बहुत
Thank
break
you.
हो रही है, sir. I cannot listen to you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. You have any question regarding this?
No, ma'am. I just lost the slide because of net connectivity.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am. In this slide, who is the top management, like MD or CEO will without permission or other person?
नहीं, of course, the whatever the top management, जो भी उन्होंने अपना management layout दिया है, accordingly जो सबसे top management में रहता है, they must have a management layout. So it could be CEO, whatever terminology that they have used, whatever the legal aspects they have, according to them, according to that, they will be having a top management. According to
The
their
top
layout.
management is MD or CEO or other
Yes.
COO, then head persons of R&D and
Yes, the top management who is
production,
responsible to provide
quality.
resources. The top management who is responsible to provide the resources to the company. It again, you know, it's a big matter and it depends on their legal contractual requirements, legal requirements, whatever they have mentioned for the top management. So yes, CEO is under top management, MD is under top management, but again,
Yes,
what
yes.
responsibilities they have defined to them, it will depend on that.
Okay, whatever the
So basically
powers
the
they
person,
have, what power they have,
yes,
that is delegated to
yes.
each person.
Exactly. According to that, they have to decide. And the person basically who is committing to the policies, procedures of the FSMS and who is providing the resources for the FSMS is considered as top management here.
Okay. Who provide resources. Okay.
Yes. So I think the audit part is completed. We can jump to the management review meeting. You want a 5 minutes break now or later on?
No, ma'am, no.
I think that will be fine. A break of 5 minutes will be fine.
Okay, you now
Now,
Yes, yes, yes.
I think a few of us need it, so we can have a 5 minute break if it is okay to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, okay.
So shall we restart now? Hello?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Please
Is
welcome, ma'am.
everybody here? Yeah, okay. So before proceeding further for MRM, मैं internal audit के कुछ templates आपको दिखाना चाहूंगी क्योंकि कल जो हमने discuss किए थे they were common templates of audit planning and schedule. So templates, these are just a kind of examples. हर organization अपने according इसको change कर सकती है, but the content will remain the same. So here are few examples. Is the screen visible to you? For internal quality audit yearly plan. Is this word
Yes, ma'am.
visible? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we talk about planning of audit, when we were talking about planning of audit, so it must be like this. एक initial planning होगी कि आप साल में 2 internal audit होनी है, तो कब कब होनी है? Like internal food safety audit 1 will be taking place in April 2021. Internal food safety audit 2 will be taking place in September 2021. So this is a general plan which they have decided at the time of implementation, after implementing the FSMS, ki these 2 audits will be taking place. So this is a yearly plan they have to make. This must be dated and signed. जब भी ये yearly plan बना है, it must be dated and it must be signed by somebody. Here management representative is mentioned as a post of the client organization, whatever post it is, or audit program manager can come here. After that, audit schedule, internal quality audit. When we are going for an audit for the planned date, this will be the schedule template, organization names, and this is the format. And under this will come auditee, who is the auditee, like, and who is the auditor, name of auditee, name of auditor, date on which it is taking place, standard and clause, जो भी standard और clause वहां पर ऑडिट होना है उसका डिटेल, जैसा कि हमने कल मेंशन किया था कि यहाँ पर प्रोक्यूरमेंट डिपार्टमेंट है तो हु इज द ऑडिटर एंड हु इज द ऑडिटर एंड डेट्स मस्ट बी देयर. सो दिस इज अ टेम्पलेट व्हिच माइट बी यूज्ड टू मेक इंटरनल ऑडिट schedule. So it is different, a little different than the one which we discussed yesterday, which was a common template. Then audit check sheet should look like this. यहाँ पर clause references आएंगे, all the clauses, HACCP, procurement department, storage, marketing, calibration, whatever the departments are, or they can go through the clause wise also. अगर उन्हें clause directly लिखकर audit करना है तो they will write the clause like 5th clause, 6th clause like that. And notes of the auditor कि उसने क्या observations की हैं, notes यहाँ पर आएंगे. जो भी observation है उसका audit evidence यहाँ आएगा. Is it compliance or non-compliance, or and objective evidence will be here. So this is how they will write a checklist, on-site checklist, date and signature of the auditor. All these must be dated and signed by the person who is filling them. So this will be signed by auditor. So this is how audit check sheet look like. And then audit report format depends on the company how they are making it. It is a reflection of the audit check sheets. जो भी audit check sheet में आपने observations डाली हैं उसको एक proper format के अंदर लिखते हैं. We make audit report for that. So these are the templates, general templates we will be using while audit. Now coming to the management review meetings. The management shall review the organization's FSMS at planned intervals to ensure its continuing suitability, adequacy and effectiveness. Again, intervals shall be planned by the organization. वो साल में कितनी बार करना चाहते हैं, it should be decided by them. But उन्हें अपना FSMS review करना है. It must be there. So this is what mentioned in the standard. This is the standard requirement. So what they will be reviewing in the management review. These are the points that shall be considered to be reviewed while a management review meeting. The status of actions from previous management reviews. जो भी पहले के management reviews रहे हैं, उसके अंदर अगर हमने लिखा था कि we will be taking this action. If you have mentioned that we will be exceeding the personal resources to increase the effectiveness of work. तो अगर आपने ये objective last year set किया था after management review, so in this management review you have to check the status of that action. Is that has taken place or नॉट एनी मेजर चेंजेस टू FSMS। अगर FSMS के अंदर आपने जो पहले इम्प्लीमेंट किया था उससे लेकर के अब में अगर कोई मेजर चेंज है, लाइक एनी एडिशन ऑफ न्यू प्रोसेस और CCPs में अगर कोई चेंज आया है अकॉर्डिंग टू द ऑपरेशंस, या आपने लोकेशन में कोई मेजर चेंज किया है, तो वो मेजर चेंजेस अगर FSMS में हैं तो दे मस्ट बी an input for the management review meeting. Audit results, any external or internal audit results must be considered in management review. Any non-conformity from them or corrective actions from them shall be discussed over here. Ki what was the non-conformity raised? What corrective actions were taken? Were they been verified by auditor? And how they are being implemented now in the organizations. So all these results must be reviewed in the management review meetings. The performance of external providers, अगर कोई external providers हैं, external providers include supplier है, अगर आप pest control आप बाहर से ले रहे हैं तो वो है, कोई भी अगर external service आप ले रहे हैं बाहर से तो उसका performance आप management review में verify करेंगे. Any inspections like regulatory or customer inspections, the extent to which objective of the FSMS have been, sorry, this is the another point, 2 points are mixed up. Any inspections, so inspection से अगर कोई outcomes हैं, they must be a part of the management review. Like any findings, if were there in the inspections, they must be considered here and discussed. The extent to which the objective of the FSMS have been met. FSMS के objectives जब आपने policy set करते वक्त जो fix किए थे, वो objectives यहाँ पर fulfill होते हैं या नहीं होते हैं, must be discussed in management review. Any emergency situation, incident or withdrawal or recall that occurred. अगर कोई भी emergency situation occur हुई है within the time frame between the last management review and this management review, अगर कोई भी emergency situation occur हुई है, अगर आपके किसी product का withdraw या recall हुआ है, तो that situation must be discussed here, that what happened, why happened, how you controlled it, what actions now you are taking it. All these points must be covered in management review meeting. Relevant information obtained through external and internal communication. External and internal communications के through अगर कोई भी relevant information आपको मिलती है, you will be discussing it here, including requests and complaints from interested parties. What could be the relevant information you can get through external or internal communication? They might be some requests made by employees to change the system, or some requests from the customer, like if customer is requesting you to make your product from किसी particular variety का बनाना है, क्या उसकी specifications होनी चाहिए, that could be a request. कोई complaint अगर कोई interested party कर रही है, customer, supplier, buyer, legal authority, or if there is any complaint or observation from interested parties, it must be discussed over here. Opportunity for continual improvement. While management review, everybody should discuss that how they can continually improve their system. The outcome must also include this. The outcomes will be discussed. We will be discussing next the outcomes. So these are the inputs we require for management review. Now,
Can you show me the first slide? Hello.
This one?
First slide.
For management
This
review.
one. Yes, ma'am. 24.
26.
Because, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because of network issue.
Okay, no issues here.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So we have discussed the inputs. Now, after the management review is being conducted, what output shall be there? What should be the outputs of management review meetings? Management review output shall include decision and actions related to continual improvement opportunities. आपने जब continual improvement opportunities discuss करी हैं, उस पर आपने क्या decision लिया? That what factors you have found out कि इन पे हमें continually improve करना है, तो what decision is made for that? और उसके against में आपने क्या action लिखा है कि we will be taking this action within this time frame. So whatever those points are shall come in the outcome. any need for updates and changes to the FSMS. Now, as we read that we have to go through the request of external and internal parties. So that could be a source to find this output. और आपने खुद का रिव्यू किया और आपको कोई चेंजेस और अपडेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट लगी, that could serve as a source to become an output. So after reviewing the management, you have to find out any need for updates and changes to the FSMS, including resource needs and revision of the food safety policy and objectives of the FSMS. और ये सारी चीजें आउटपुट्स में, मैनेजमेंट रिव्यू मीटिंग के आउटपुट्स में मेंशन होंगी. So when we are saying revision of the food safety policy and objectives of the FSMS, why these might be required? These might be required because of the changing procedures or implementing any new procedure, or अगर आपको लगता है जो policy and objective set किए हैं, they are not as per our procedures, they are not relevant, you can make changes in them after a management review meeting. You can make it clear in the outputs that these changes are required and we have to do it in the given time frame. Management review records shall be maintained. There shall be a management review record. So I will show you how to a template of the management review record. So when we do a management review meeting, first we have to set the agenda. The agenda for the management review meetings includes the points from the what we discussed, the points for the input of management review meeting. जो हमने डिस्कस किया था कि क्या क्या इनपुट्स हो सकते हैं, वो हम एजेंडा में सेट करेंगे एज पर आर प्रोसीजर्स. सो दिस इज अ जनरल फॉर्मेट. हम वेन्यू लिखेंगे, व्हाट इज द वेन्यू, लाइक आर ऑफिस और फैक्ट्री प्रीमाइसेस, जहां पर भी मैनेजमेंट रिव्यू हो रहा है. अ फैक्ट्री हैज अ डिफरेंट प्रीमाइसेस, तो दे विल मेंशन द वेन्यू हियर कि कहां पर ये हो रहा है. डेट ऑफ मीटिंग, सब्जेक्ट लाइक फर्स्ट MRM या फर्स्ट मैनेजमेंट रिव्यू मीटिंग फॉर ISO 22000. This is to inform all concerned that MRM will be held at 11 AM to 1 PM on 9/9/2021. This information shall be given so that all concerned person shall be there. In the management review meeting, top management shall be there. If not possible to be present there physically, they can join through remotely through a video conferencing or something, but they shall be there. And all the department heads shall be there. And if they have mentioned any another person to join this MRM in their procedures, all those persons should be present over there and they should be given this information. So this is how we set an agenda. This is just an example. From the inputs, we set the agenda. Here we have set as results of audit and their analysis, customer feedback and review of communication activities, emergency situations, review of results of system updating activities. अगर system updating activities का जो review उन्होंने किया, regular जो update करते हैं उसका review भी वो लोग यहाँ करेंगे. Changes affecting the FSMS, resource needs, revision of food safety policy and related objectives, recommendations for improvements. So this is how the agenda is set. And then this agenda need to be date and signed. Here the management representative is the post of the person who is making this agenda. Whatever the post is related to the organization shall come here. So the date of this agenda, when this was made, and signature shall be there. This is how we set an agenda for the inputs of MRM. Now, next come for the outputs. This is a management review record template. In this, we will write the MRM number that will be 1, management review meeting number, date of meeting, venue, then comes serial numbers. Here will come participants, designation, and signature. So this will be an attendance sheet for all the persons who are present during the MRM. Attendance sheet is required for them. Then we will go through the next points. What points are discussed? So here will be the outcomes. Point wise, whatever the agenda was set, every point shall be discussed here. No point shall be missed. So those points will come here. What were the outcomes shall be under each point over here. The responsibility of the person, अगर उसका कुछ outcome है, you have to do something for that, तो responsibility यहाँ define होगी. Time target यहाँ होगा. If they are saying that they will achieve something, then in which time target they will achieve that will come here. Any remarks. Again, date and signature of the person who is responsible to conduct the management review meeting. So this is how a management review record will look like. So this is all about the internal audit and management reviews. Any questions till now? No?
This
I can
is
go ahead.
hello. Ma'am,
Yes.
This management review meeting only as per concern of ISO or
Yes, we are talking about only ISO, but as we mentioned in the inputs, it should include the details of any legal inspections, regulatory inspections, or any audits which, audit results from the internal or external audits. So if there are any findings from them, it should be considered in the management review meeting. Why? Because when we talk about ISO says that all legal, statutory, and any customer or supplier or any external service provider requirement shall be met. It is mentioned in the ISO. So we have to verify all these, that whatever the findings were there from their reports, it is met or not.
ma'am, if we do like BRC certification, so
BRC.
automatically it will BRC brand
Okay.
reputation consortium. So it will be automatically reflect in this ISO also. But
Yes,
हम उसके
actually,
लिए करेंगे तो एक ही चीज होगी ना, ये इसको लिए सेम होगा मैनेजमेंट रिव्यू.
yes. As we yesterday we went through the joint audits now. So in the same way, you can do a joint MRM. Okay. Combined audit, not joint, sorry, combined audits and combined MRM can be done. You can add as many points as you want to add in an MRM as per your system. But the points which I told here are as per the requirements and they shall be there. वो points तो होने ही चाहिए. Apart from that, you can add as many points you want to add to improve your system, unless it is relevant to the audit criteria. Okay.
Yes.
So next is competence and evaluation of auditors. So here we will be discussing the competence and evaluation of internal auditors. Okay. So competence and evaluation of auditors general. Individuals involved in planning and conducting audits, including auditors, must be competent. So it's a very general thing that anybody who is involved in planning and conducting audits must be competent. How? We will go through in the next slides. The evaluation of auditor competence shall be planned, implemented, and documented. So how a company has evaluated that their auditors are competent or not. So these evaluation procedures need to be planned, implemented. जिस तरीके से प्लान किए प्रोसीजर्स डेवलप किए उसी तरीके से उन्हें उस पे वर्क भी करना है और documented means procedures shall be there and records shall be there. The outcome of the evaluation process should provide a basis for the following. Why evaluation process is important? Because uske through hame following things we will find out from that. Selection of audit team members. We can select audit team depending on the evaluation of the auditor कि कौन सा auditor कौन सा department audit कर सकता है. Auditor internal auditor बन सकता है या नहीं बन सकता है. We will find out only through the evaluation procedures. Determining the need for improved competence. अगर किसी पर्सन को एक इम्प्रूव्ड कॉम्पिटेंस चाहिए, आपको लगता है एडिशनल नीड है, अगर उसे एडिशनल ट्रेनिंग देनी है, उसका आपको कुछ एडिशनल वर्कशॉप्स अटेंड करवाना है, तो दिस यू कैन ओनली इवैल्यूएट थ्रू द competence evaluation procedures. Now when we talk about auditor, so there are some general aspects before we jump to the education, experience and trainings. उसके पहले एक general एक personal behavior आता है which should be there in an auditor. So what personal behavior should an auditor must reflect? Auditor should exhibit professional behavior during the performance of audit activities. That is, an auditor should be ethical, that is fair, truthful, sincere, honest, and discreet. An auditor must be ethical and should not present anything dishonestly or unfair or untruthfully. So an auditor must be fair, truthful, sincere towards his work, honest, and should not discriminate between anything. An auditor should be open-minded, willing to consider alternative ideas or points of views. जरूरी नहीं है कि एक auditor का point of view एक auditee के point of view से match हो. So auditor must be open-minded to understand the point of views of auditees and the related persons. Auditor must be diplomatic. That means he must be tactful in dealing with people. How to deal with the different people, because an auditor is definitely going to meet different kind of people. Each person is different from another person. तो अगर उसे difficulty आती है to handle a person, he should know how to deal with that person respectfully. An auditor must be observant, actively observing physical surrounding and activities. Now, when we talk about an auditor, we generally say an auditor is the eye, ear, and nose of an organization. So whenever he is going somewhere, he should observe each and everything he is looking around, he is finding around. So he's not only talking to a person, he's also looking around the surroundings. He should know, he should observe the things according to whatever that person is saying, whatever is mentioned in their documents and records, he should observe those things. An auditor should be perceptive, that is aware of and able to understand situations. Whatever the situations are there, the auditor should be aware and should be able to understand the situations. Decisive, that means an auditor must be able to reach timely conclusion based on logical reasoning and analysis. When we talk about audit findings and all, so this must not take much time, because there are so many clauses, so many requirements to check. So he must take decision promptly, make conclusions, and make any logical reasoning or analysis in a timely manner. He should not take much time in each and every finding. So being decisive, being promptly taking prompt decisions is very much necessary for an auditor. An auditor must be open to improvement, that is willing to learn from situation and striving for better audit results. From every audit, from every experience, an auditor must learn what was his mistakes or what was his opportunity for improvements where he could improve himself, and he should always strive. He should always think that I have to do better in my next audit. I have to find out next level of auditing attributes in myself. So he should learn from each and every situation. An auditor must be culturally sensitive, that is observant and respectful to the culture of the auditee. जो भी auditor है, as we talked, even in the case of internal audit, we can hire some other person. So it also refer to that person, that a person should be observant and respectful to the culture of the auditee. जो भी auditee का culture है, जो भी area wise culture है, language है, उसको वो respect करना चाहिए. Collaborative, that is effectively interacting with others, including audit team members and auditees personnel. If the audit team consists of more than one auditor, then all auditors shall be collaborative. आपस में effectively interact करें. They should not have any ego sort of thing that I am better than that person. No, they should have a team spirit. So an auditor must be collaborative, and they should also interact in an effective way to the auditees personnel. So these are the personal behavior an auditor must have and must develop with the time. Next come what knowledge and skills are required for an auditor. So an auditor should be able to do the following. An auditor should be able to perform the following activities effectively: apply audit principles, procedures and methods. जो भी audit principles, procedures और methods develop किए गए हैं through an organization, वो auditor उसको apply करना आना चाहिए while conducting the audit. Be able to assess that audit evidence is appropriate. उसको अपना ही audit evidence assess करना आना चाहिए, that whatever audit evidence is being collected is appropriate or not. Use work documents to record audit activities. जो भी वर्क डॉक्यूमेंट्स उसे प्रोवाइड किए गए हैं लाइक ओपनिंग मीटिंग, क्लोजिंग मीटिंग, रिपोर्ट्स और whatever the documents is being provided by the organization, उसे उन्हें यूज करना आना चाहिए. Collect information through effective interviewing, listening, observing and reviewing documents, records and data. He should know how to collect information through all these things: interviewing, listening, observing, document and records review, all these things. In सबसे information, how to collect information, he should know it. Document audit findings, he should know how to document, how to write an audit finding and prepare appropriate audit reports. जो भी हमने देखा कि audit report कैसे prepare करनी है, an auditor should be able to do that. Maintain the confidentiality and security of information. This is very important. An auditor should be able to maintain the confidentiality and security of information, data, documents and records where applicable. An auditor should be able to conduct the audit within the agreed time schedule. Whatever the schedule is being agreed, if they are giving timing from 9 to 5 and particular time for each department, auditors should be able to conduct the audit within the given time period. Communicate effectively, orally and in writing. An auditor should communicate effectively throughout the audit. So these are the things an auditor should be able to perform while audit and for audit. An auditor must be skilled to understand management system standards and their application. जो भी management system audit हो रहा है, if we are talking about ISO 22000, so here an auditor must know and understand the ISO 22000 standard and their application, how to apply it in the system, in the procedures, in the operations. So auditor को पता होना चाहिए कि ये management system कैसे apply होगा in the operations. An auditor should be competent to understand applicable laws and regulations and basic legal terminology. So an auditor must understand these things. Auditor knowledge and skills can be acquired using a combination of the following. So we have been talking about what an auditor must be able to do, but how he will be doing it. कैसे होगा? So it can be achieved through a formal education or training. उसका जो भी education background है, या अगर वो कोई training लेता है जिसके अंदर की management system details आ रहा है, and experience related to the management system and sector to be audited. और जो भी वो management system को audit करने जा रहा है उसको कितना experience है. When we are talking about internal audit, the implementation experience also counts here. उसको उस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम का कितना एक्सपीरियंस है और जो सेक्टर वो ऑडिट करने जा रहा है उसका उसे कितना नॉलेज है. ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम, this covers the education and experience. Then comes training program that cover generic auditor knowledge and skills relevant to ISO 22000. Now the training, when we are talking about the training, तो उसके अंदर आना चाहिए generic auditor knowledge and skills. What are the general knowledge and skills an auditor must have? The training program that we are covering from our last session and this session covers this, the generic auditor knowledge and skills relevant to ISO 22000. Iska training is necessary for an internal auditor for ISO 22000. Experience in the relevant management system and sector, as we read earlier. So this is the knowledge and skills. This is the way to acquire the knowledge and skills for an auditor. Is that clear?
How many sectors can you tell in food line? Major sector.
Sectors, you are asking for the examples of sectors?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
how
like,
many sectors?
there are many, there are different sectors. I think you might have gone through the sheet which has sectors defined in it. If you have not, you can find it in the ISO 22000 standard itself. There is a sheet. So major sectors are like dairy, like
Vegetable.
yes, ready to eat products. So there are different sectors defined over there, that a few are of like spices. Spices में इतने हजार मतलब spices जो इतनी जल्दी खराब नहीं होता है. So it is a non-perishable product, right? When we are talking about sectors, there are specific sectors, like spices is a sector, grinding of spices is a sector, dairy industry is a sector. Then when we talk about biscuits or bakery is a sector. So these are the different kind of sectors, different kind of products, processes make different sectors. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But when we are talking about internal audit, so the sector specific experience is up to the organization if they are mentioning it or not. Because all interdepartmental personnel could not be experienced in the sector. So they limited knowledge of that can be achieved through the internal trainings also. So it depends on the organization again, how they are providing it and how they are maintaining the requirements for these. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this is a criteria or procedure for auditor evaluation shall be developed based on requirements discussed till now. Whatever requirements have been discussed till now, that includes the behavior and knowledge, skills, experience, जो भी criteria एक organization set करती है अपने auditor, internal auditor के लिए, उसे उसके लिए एक प्रोसीजर बनाना है. पहले तो क्राइटेरिया सेट करना है. एज आई सेड कि इट्स अप टू द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हाउ दे आर सेटिंग द क्राइटेरिया, बट दोज क्राइटेरियाज मस्ट इंक्लूड एजुकेशन, फॉर्मल एजुकेशन. जो भी वो डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं फॉर्मल एजुकेशन, दे हैव टू डिफाइन इट एंड इट मस्ट बी अकॉर्डिंग टू ISO 22000. एक हायर लेवल भी वो इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं इसके अंदर, डिपेंड्स ऑन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, बट इट मस्ट बी सेट समवेयर. ट्रेनिंग डिटेल्स मस्ट बी देयर and experience details, whatever they require, must be in the set criteria of the company. It could be there in the job description or somewhere else, but it must be there. And procedure for auditor evaluation. What procedure they will be following to evaluate the auditor criteria must be set by the organization. So they shall be developed based on requirement discussed till now. Criteria and procedure shall be there. Okay. Selecting the appropriate auditor evaluation method. So how we will evaluate the auditors? The evaluation should be conducted using 2 or more of the methods selected from those in table represented in next slide. So I will be discussing a table in which we have mentioned the auditor evaluation methods. The following should be noted. The methods outlined in this table represents a range of options and may not apply in all situations. So it have few options, but जरूरी नहीं है कि हर तरह की organization में वो applicable हो. It is just an example. A combination of methods can be used to ensure an outcome that is objective, consistent, fair, and reliable. And the methods which we will be discussing, उनमें से एक से ज़्यादा methods का combination use करके हमें ensure करना है evaluation of the auditor so that कि जो भी outcome हो that is fair and reliable and consistent. Next, we will discuss the possible evaluation methods. What are the possible evaluation methods? So there is a table. In this, I have mentioned evaluation method. What is the objective for that method? And what are the examples of that method? How we will achieve them? So first is review of records. Here we are talking about the records of personnel, of each person, which we are evaluating for being an internal auditor. So review of records, objective is to verify the background of the auditor, from which background the auditor is, education, trainings and all. Examples, analysis of records of education, training, employment, professional credentials. What credentials he has professionally, whatever he has, whatever experience he has. Feedback, to provide information about how the performance of the auditor. So feedback can be taken through questionnaires, from the personal references as we do, complaints, through the complaints if the person has any complaints from previous employers or from colleagues, performance evaluation, etc. So these will serve as a base for this point, for feedback. This provide information about how the performance of the auditor has been. So review of records, feedback, then comes interview. Who does the auditor evaluation? So for that, they must define in the criteria and procedure that who will be doing this. It could be the HR person, it could be a senior auditor, but whatever they have provided in their procedures, it should be defined in their procedures that the HR person will be doing this or a senior auditor in the company will be doing it. All right. So I think
Okay,
you
ma'am.
answered.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. So interview to evaluate personal behavior and communication skills. Interview is being done to evaluate the personal behavior and communication skills of the auditor, to verify information and test knowledge, and to acquire additional information. So it can be done through the personal interviews. Through personal interviews, we can get that उसकी communication skills कैसी है, personal behavior aspects जो हमने पढ़े थे. So while interview, you can ask questions based on the, you can give an example of the situational based questions you can ask. You will find out the personal behavior through them. And जो भी information उसने दी है अपनी CV में, resume में, अपने papers में, you can verify it through the interview. Observation. Now, when interview is done, you can observe to evaluate personal behavior and the ability to apply knowledge and skills. How you will do this? How you will observe that an auditor possess the personal behavior, उस auditor का personal behavior accordingly है to become an auditor, और वो अपनी knowledge and skills apply कर पाएगा या नहीं. How you can observe this through witness audits or on the job performance. Who will be doing witness audit and what is a witness audit? A witness audit can be conducted कि अगर कोई कंपनी है उसने already senior internal auditor appoint कर रखा है या फिर external उसने internal auditor hire किया है to train his own personnel as an internal auditor. तो उस केस में वो senior auditor will act as a witness auditor. उसके अंडर में वो दूसरे auditors होंगे and he will check while conducting the audit, he will observe that the auditor is doing his job perfectly or not, and where do he needs any improvement. So it can be achieved through witness audits or on the job performance. Testing to evaluate personal behavior and knowledge and skills and their application. So tests can be taken, oral or written exams can be taken for this. It can be done while you appoint a person as an internal auditor and for the continual improvement also, for the continual evaluation also. Post-audit review. After auditing, you can also review their performance to provide information on the auditor performance during the audit activities, identify strengths and weakness. So this is done to provide information that how an auditor is performing auditing activities and to identify their strengths and weakness while performing an audit. So how this will be done? By review of the audit reports, interviews with the audit team leader or the witness auditor, the audit team, and if appropriate, feedback from the auditee. So it can be achieved through the review of the audit reports, that how he has written the audit report, how he has framed audit findings. It can be done by the interviews of the audit team and audit team leader, that how they performed it, and a feedback from the auditee can also be taken if it is appropriate as per the auditor and auditee arrangements. Is it clear?
Yes,
So now conducting auditor evaluation. The information collected about the person through above defined method should be compared against the organization's set criteria. So from these methods, we will be finding information about the person who we want to develop as an auditor. So that information we have to verify against the set criteria, as we discussed earlier, that there must be a set criteria. तो हम वो सारी information उस criteria के against verify करेंगे, that does it complies or not. So this is all about the auditor evaluation. Now, once we have evaluated and appointed an internal auditor, what will we do next? What will be the next steps? The next step is to maintain and improve the auditor competence. अगर एक बार आपने auditor appoint कर दिया, that doesn't mean that that person is competent to be an auditor for the long term. You have to continually improve the auditor competence and you have to maintain what he has. So how will you achieve that? This is the responsibility of the organization top management to describe the procedures that how this will be achieved. Auditors and audit team leader should continually improve their competence. It can be achieved through regular participation in management systems audits and continual professional development. So what does it mean? Management system audit में अगर आप continually regularly participate करते हैं तो of course you will be आप जो भी audit procedures हैं you will know them regularly on a regular basis और जो भी updates अगर audit procedures में होते हैं you will know them because you are regularly participating in the management system audits. And what is continual professional development? Continual professional development involves the maintenance and improvement of competence. This may be achieved through the combination of studies and experience that may include additional work experience, trainings, private study or coaching, attending meetings, seminars and conference or other relevant activities, etc. So how you can do continual professional development of yourselves, or an organization can set procedures for this for you. It can be achieved if you can have an additional work experience of particular different sector or different department. If you will have an experience of different department or different sector, of course you are continually improving your professional things by gaining knowledge and experience of new areas. Any additional training can be done, training related to the management systems, training related to the services, training related to the auditor performance and all, auditor requirements. So those trainings are a part of continual professional development, CPD. Private study or coaching, you can do some private study to increase your knowledge and skills. You can attend meetings, seminar, conferences to achieve this also. So this is how you will maintain and improve auditor competence. So this was all about the auditor competence and audit procedures. It's done. So do anybody have any questions regarding these points?
Hello, ma'am. I missed that some points regarding the. I don't know the number of the slide, but applicable laws and regulations.
I will go back and you can tell me which slide is this, okay?
Okay. Not this one. No, back. Before the. Yes. Basic legal terminology. I missed this point.
Okay. So an auditor must be competent to understand applicable laws and regulations. अगर एक हम इंडिया में कहीं audit पर जा रहे हैं तो whoever the auditor is, he should know if he is going in a particular state, उस state की क्या requirements हैं, basically country की क्या legal requirements हैं, laws and regulations related to packaging
So
or
now
any
I want
other
to
laws.
ask, what are these regulations? So there is a training for regulations also. So what is, I have seen the people writing regulatory practitioner or something like that. So what is it different? It must be different from the auditor, regulatory.
Yes, of course it is different from the auditor, but they should have a general knowledge that what general, like basic requirements, as we all know that FSSAI license is a must in India, right?
Okay.
So that is a basic requirement to start a food business. So it must be completed and an auditor should know that it is there. Now, as we discussed yesterday, ki if someone is claiming that their product is organic,
Okay.
so an organic certificate must be there. If
Okay.
an organization is claiming that their product is as per Ayush requirements, so those legal requirements shall be there. And if any state has any particular requirements, those legal requirements should be there. An auditor should know. If he doesn't know, it is not necessary then an auditor should be knowing each and everything. But while preparing for audit, he should read those requirements and he should discuss it with somebody else if he need more information on them. But he should be prepared to verify those requirements, like if those requirements have been met, if certificates are to be there, they are there or not. So he should know all these things while preparing the audit.
That should be done before.
Regulatory meaning, what should be this one? Hello.
Hello.
Regulations, what are these laws only?
Yes, here we talk about the
The-
laws, whichever to be according that product, that area.
Okay.
Okay.
These are laws only.
The government, yeah, whatever the requirement a government has imposed on an organization, on a type of organization, like when we talk about food organization, so I discussed the regulatory requirements for food organization. So if government has imposed any requirements for that particular kind of services, the auditor should know it. Those are the regulatory requirements.
Okay. And then one point is Dr. Dhingda discussed about it. So Dr. Mahamani also discussed this thing that for registration, the actual turnover must be less than or equal to 12 lakh. And for licensing, it should be more than 12 lakhs per annum. That
Okay.
is the point.
Hmm.
So that point I want to mention this thing. This was discussed in the by
So,
Mr. Amren Mahamani sir.
okay, so what is your query regarding this point?
No, not query. I'm giving the giving the answer for that.
Okay, okay.
Is it okay or not, that answer?
Hmm. You know, I know that a state license and these all things are different. And of course, the turnover, if this is less than 12 lakh, turnover is less than 12
So
lakh, then
that requires
registration is
registration.
required.
Yes.
Yes.
And for more than 12 lakh, then per annum. Yes.
Yes.
Per annum
The
for that license is required.
The
FSSA
license
license.
is required then. Yes. Okay.
I think Dr. Swatantra, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there, sir.
Okay, just ask if anyone other person is interested to any question is there.
Dear participants, any other question? Okay. Sir, I think there is no question from the participant side. So I requested to our course director, Dr. K. Alam Khan, sir, for the valedictory session, sir.
So,
Sir,
can you please give me 2 minutes to conclude the presentation? If you all agree, I will need
okay,
just
ma'am.
2
No
minutes.
problem. No problem,
Yes.
ma'am. Please carry on.
So thank you for your attention, and thank you for the knowledge I have also gained while this presentation from all the personnel present there, FSSI and Miss FSO. So it was a really great experience to present something over on this platform. Thank you so much, everybody, for your attention. And
Something
hope
I would
that-
like to add, there are certain things made mandatory by FSSAI auditing.
pardon?
Some auditing has been already made mandatory by FSSAI.
Okay.
Like centrally licensed companies and high risk businesses. If you
Hmm.
give me a moment, I can share that order in which they have given some extension.
Please, that will
because
be
of
very
the
informative
COVID.
for me also. Please share that.
Now, I think something
Yes.
has gone bad.
The screen has gone black.
Ma'am, I think it would be, hello.
Hello.
Yes, Swati ma'am, I think it would be better if you give your, personal email ID to them. If any queries they have, they can contact to me also. Do you have any,
Yes.
problem in that case? If
No,
you
no
can
issues.
share.
I can leave it in the chat box if you want, or I can give it to the Mr. Swatantra and he can provide it to you. Is that okay?
Yes, yes. I
So
think that's better.
I will SMS to the I will WhatsApp to the Mr. Swatantra. Okay, Mr. Swatantra?
Okay,
Very
madam. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Ma'am.
And I hope from this whole training session, the students has also gained some information and will be able to implement FSMS in the future. Hello, ma'am. I think there was somebody. Sorry. So all the students will be able to implement the FSMS in the future. It's my hope, and all the best to all of them. And I think the
Okay.
screen is.
Thank you very much. So now
Okay, ma'am.
I'm thanks. So first I would like to say thank you to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S.K. Rao sir, for giving permission to organizing such a unique program. And our colleague and course director, Dr. Akhilesh, who has given valuable inputs in formulating and designing this program. And this program was not possible to run successfully without our eminent speakers like Mr. Amrendra Mahamuni, Sumir Saxena, our Swati Sharma ma'am, Antriksh Sinha, and Umesh Shinde. They have given their valuable time, sincere efforts, and they have shared thorough knowledge with our participants. So relevant to the food safety audit, and I am sure they will help to our participants even if they inquire something in future also. And I'm very much thankful to Dr. Swatantra Kumar, our course coordinator technical, for running this program successfully during this 10 days of period. And finally, I'm thankful to our participants who have shown faith on us and they have registered for this program and giving their valuable time. Thank you to everyone who helped us in any ways to run this program. And finally, thank you very much to IDP NAHEP, RVSQ Gwalior for funding to organize this program. Now I formally declare the closure of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sadhan,
Thank you so
would like to
much.
say something?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you. So I will be leaving it, and I have provided my email ID to Mr. Swatantra. And sir, you can also send the thing you were discussing about FSSI to me on my email ID. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Shall I disconnect now?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.